Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Lunch Talk with the Carters. I am your host, Starr Carter.
And I am your host, Michael Carter.
And we just come to tell you all that it is time to get the show started. What's up, guys? It is Friday. Blessed to be here at the end of another work week. How you doing today, Mr. Carter?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, doing great. Just blessed to be here another Friday.
Thank God for that, right? Well, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, Lunch Talk with the Carters is brought to you by Lunch Talk with the Carters Couples Line. You can go check us out on Facebook.com/lunchtalkshow/shop to check out our King and Queen collection that we just added to the Lunch Talk with the Carters brand. We sure do appreciate all the love and support so far. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So we didn't have a show Monday because we had a family emergency, but thank God that turned out great. And so we are back today with another great episode with another juicy topic. So today, guys, we're going to talk about respect. RPSCETT. That's what it is. I can't spell this.
Yeah.
What Aretha Franklin said.
Yeah, we got you. Okay.
So we're going to talk about respect in relationships. So not just in couples, but just in general, just respect. I was telling my husband that, I just noticed now, and we're here in 2018, how respect has took a different turn than when I was younger. And us growing up, I'm 40 years old. So I grew up in the 80s, and teenager in the 90s. So it's like the respect dynamic now in the millennial age is a whole lot different to me. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, it is. It's part of the culture, I think, now. That I know it's crazy to say that, but it seems to be that way. The culture has took a dramatic change. Like you say, from when we were growing up, because when we were growing up, that was embedded in us. Your parents, they put that in your head pretty much at birth. It's certain people to respect, respect your elders, and pretty much just give respect to everyone, But today I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with our people these days. It's like respect takes a back seat to everything else.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like you said, growing up, certain things, and we knew that we had to respect. We knew we had to respect our elders, like you said. You knew you had to have respect for the teachers when you were growing up. You respected the law. You even knew to, if you grew up in a religious home, you had respect for God. You had respect for the church. You had respect for even law enforcement, those type of things. But now, it's not so much. People have let respect just take a total back burner. And I can't tell you how many times I have witnessed just children being disrespectful to their parents now. Like something that I never, ever would have dreamed of doing when I was that age. I mean, my grandma would have knocked my teeth out of my head if I had back taught her. Just the simplest thing that kids get away with now that they say. I mean, you can go to your local Walmart and get an example very fast. I guarantee you're going to see some child there disrespecting their parents. Or I seen where these teenagers now, they don't respect their elders. If you're walking in the door and an older person is walking in the door, I was already taught to hold the door open for that person or help them to their car with their bags and stuff like that. No, we'll rush through the door right in front of them, about to knock them down.
Yes, that's absolutely true. That is, man. It's taking a back seat. I don't know if it's the actual age now, or is it something mental? I hate to say it, but I feel that now it's a totally different culture because of change. Change has really, all change to me is not good. Okay. When it comes to things like respect, honor and things like that, all change is not good. A lot of things that we had to abide by and a lot of disciplinary acts we had when we were coming up, with all this change going on, it's gone. It's no more. Mm-hmm. So is that the reason why? I mean, you know, a lot of people like to pinpoint it and say the disciplinary acts are different now. That's why kids are more disrespectful and are more ornery than, you know, they were in our time. But, you know, then some people say it's the way they were raised, but all those things are not true. That's not true. I just think it's the time change. It's a time shift.
Yeah. I mean, cause me and you both said, about 2 weeks ago, how how we're in our 40s and we don't seem or feel old. But back when we were younger and a 40-year-old, like back when I was, you know, in the 80s and 90s, a lot of the 40-year-olds then, they seemed like they were more 60-year-olds than 40-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And like us, you know, we still are just like we were when we was, you know, other than a few aches and pains here and there, we're still kind of like how we were as far as out and about. You know, we don't look at ourselves as being old people, you know, because 40 is like, they say it's like the new 30, you know. And so now, you know, a lot of and I hate to say this, but this is true, guys. A lot of like when I was in high school, a lot of girls that I went to school with, they, you know, had babies early. You know, they were babies themselves. And so now those kids are grown. You know, I mean, think about it. When I was 18, those kids or 17, some of the girls I went to school with, 17 and 16 that had children, think about it. It's 20 something years later. These kids are grown now. So a lot of those girls that I went to school with, they're grandmas now, but they're still young themselves.
Yes, I think that's a good issue too. That's a good point. Yeah,
they're still young themselves. So at the same time, it's like when my grandma raised me, my grandma was already an old lady.
Yeah, she was a grandma.
Yeah, she was a true grandma. She was already, my mom was 27 years old when she had me. So my grandma was already a grown lady. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
And therefore, she was already like in her maybe early 50s, I guess probably when I was born, something like that. And so she was already somebody that could have been a true disciplinary, and she wasn't still out trying to get her own groove on instead of being a true grandmother, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, but it's not funny, because that put me in the mind of the late great Bernie Mac. And one of the things he said in his act was, Big Mama is gone. You know, it's a total time shift. Big Mama is gone. There's no more Big Mama. And like he said, you're a grandma now at what, 32? You know, I mean, it was funny. It's funny, guys, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, you're a grandma at 32 now. You know what I'm saying? You what you know about being Big Mama? I mean, come on, guys. That's what I'm saying about the time shift. Mm-hmm. You know, time has changed so dramatically. And, you know, all through history, you've had major, you know, dramatic time shifts. And I think now we're going through a time shift. I know it sounds crazy to most of you. You know, if it's going above your head, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that, you know, all through history, there has been major time shifts, you know, but I think we're going through that now because the respect thing is just took a back seat to everything in the world. Your ego is more important now than respecting people, you know. Respect is something that everybody, you know, deserves, you know, right off the bat. I mean, that's just it. Everybody deserves some form of respect.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, another thing too that made me think about this topic, not only just because, you know, we deal with relationship issues, family issues, so that's what we do. So when we talk about trying to heal our families, it's not just the couples, it's just the whole family dynamic in a whole nutshell to make us back where we need to be at. So that means us talking not only about the bad things that go on in relationship, but just bringing back the family dynamic as a whole.
Family in a whole, yes.
So that's why I want to talk about this respect issue, because if you hear the train, we're just going to keep on going. We let you know on the other show that we live close to a train. So anyway, but the family dynamic has to come back into our families. And like we said, we're trying to keep our families first in 2018. So I was thinking the other day, I had a friend of mine to tell me that she constantly has a guy friend of hers that always is bringing her back negative stuff that he hears at his work, you know, and it's sometimes geared at her. And my question to her is, well, why is it that when people bring him information, why do they feel like it's okay for them to go to him and tell them bad stuff about you? And why do they feel so comfortable being able to share that information with him? Why is he not defending you? Does he not respect you? So that's another thing. Respect is not only when it's in your face or when you're showing respect. Respect, to me, true respect is when you're not around too. When you're not around, who actually has your back? That's a form of respect. Who actually has your back in your family, in your friends? Who actually has your back? Who respects you when you're not there?
That's a good point. That's an excellent point.
Yeah. And really knowing who had, like I said, who really has your back. Because here's the thing about when people talk about you, you know, if the person that's bringing you back the information and they got it firsthand, my question is, why were they so comfortable telling it to you? And you supposed to be my friend or my mate or whatever. Why do they feel like they can tell you those things and it not be a repercussion from it? Because that would make me wonder, what is going on that they can talk about you and nothing happens. They feel like, okay, I can just go and just talk bad mouth about you and you supposed to be with them or their friend. And then they come back and tell you these things to make you upset about it. How do they have your best interest at heart?
Well, that is an excellent question. That's an excellent question. I mean, guys, it's to me, it's the fact that this person feels that comfortable in doing that because they know, one, that you don't have the respect for that person that you should. And one of your actions led them to feel that way. Maybe it's that first line of information or that first line of negativity they brought to you and you did not react. You did not defend, the person that you're supposed to be with. Respect. You have how can you say you respect that person if you allow someone to talk negative, about that person? That is no form of respect. That is downright, to me, distasteful on your part for allowing that action to take place. That person feels comfortable in doing that because you give them that feedback. You allow them to feel comfortable instead of putting the things in check. You allow them for this. You allow that bad information to come.
Mm-hmm. And like another thing too, when I think about respect, is how do you talk about your mate to your friends and to your coworkers? Like, kind of like when we were saying in another show where, if you're not getting along with your mate and you going to work or whatever, and you're talking down about your mate to somebody that you work with, or, if you're not happy in your relationship, you're too busy talking bad about them to X, Y, and Z and putting a perspective in that person's mind of that person. And they may have not even met them. And that goes on a lot at work. I can't tell you, working in credit unions, how many times I've heard ladies just talk just total trash about their husbands. And when their husbands come up there to make a deposit or something like that, and I see this person, and then I already have a preconceived notion of how this person is, and I've never may have not even had, a 2-word conversation with them, but you're not showing your level of respect for them. You may not like something that they have done to you, but to talk trash about them behind their back to somebody else, to dishonor them. And especially if you're married, that's something that you said in your vows that you will honor them. So when honor doesn't mean just when they're in your presence. That means that you're supposed to honor and respect them even when they're not around, even when they don't make you feel good, even when they get on your nerves, even when they leave the toilet seat up and you done fell in the middle of the night. You still have to love them, but to have enough respect that you don't trash them out in the street. whatever it is that you're not agreeing on should never leave outside your home. And that's how I feel about that. You should not be trashing your mate to other people, because 9 times out of 10, it, like we were saying in our mindful relationship series, there's things that you can do to get back in the good graces of each other. I'm aside of infidelity. Sometimes that takes a little more work, and aside of physical abuse, those type of things. But I'm just saying, everybody has disagreements. Everybody is not going to always have a sunny day in their relationship, but it's not a time to go around and disrespect them in a way that can cause problems in your relationship, to make other people outside of the relationship to look at your mate in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? Does it make sense what I'm saying, babe?
Yeah, it does. Everybody deserves a form of respect. That's just my personal belief. Everyone. I mean, I know the old saying goes, respect is something that you earn. Well, I believe that is true. Okay. That is true. Respect is earned. It's not given. Okay. But some form of respect must be given as well. So the old saying is held to be true, but everyone deserves a form of respect. Someone you don't know, like we were saying, respecting your elders. You don't have to know one of your elders. Okay. But if you see someone struggling, barely can walk, or, having problems opening a door or something, you don't know this person. So they haven't earned your respect. So would you help them? Would you respect them enough to help them? See, that's what I mean by it goes both ways. You don't have to know someone to give them some form of respect. I know respect is earned. That is true. But everyone deserves some form of the word respect.
Okay. And I know sometimes people get you may have respected them, and then they did something to make you not respect them anymore. And I understand that happens, because I went through a period of that myself. When people show you their true colors, you tend to not have respect for them anymore. And I know a lot of ladies, you probably can say this. A lot of you ladies, especially when you have like deadbeat dads in your life and stuff like that, you tend to not respect their fathers of your children anymore, especially if they're not active participants. And then they show you their true character, how they're not being a part of their children's lives and stuff like that. So that's where that part about respect being earned, I can see that happening in that type of situation, because you lose respect for certain people because of their character. Their character doesn't warrant respect. You see what I'm saying? Even though that you're supposed to show a level of respect, like you said, but sometimes their character can warrant that, and then it makes it harder to respect that person. And nobody's saying that you got to go out of your way to respect somebody that maybe not deserves your full respect, but you still can't be, I don't know, just a total butthole about it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just have to bite, or as my grandma said, sometimes you have to bite your tongue just to grow and to move on from certain people. You can't keep always fighting the same dead battle. Sometimes you just have to just move on away from those things and just deal with them at a distance. Cause I've had to do that several times with several people in my life. I just had to deal with them at a distance because I don't have the level of respect that I feel like I should have for them. And therefore, if I can't treat them the way that I would want to be treated, then I'd rather them not be around me. You know what I'm saying? Than to go at it with them. And it's just a not so favorable, relationship. Sometimes you just have to disconnect. That way you're not throwing out bad energy. That way you're not being a negative person. And that way you're not bringing that kind of energy around you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to get rid of those people that you don't respect anymore, basically. Mm-hmm.
Well, on the respect thing for me, I look at it a little differently because of the fact that I don't think that respect in a person's situation should, involve the two. The situation is, you look at, to me, respect is something on a higher level because you got great leaders in history that has committed infidelities, has done bad things, but you still respect them because of their accomplishments. You understand what I'm saying? It's to me, it's a higher level because, I don't want to do a history lesson, but everybody knows about the great civil active leaders that has committed, adultery, but the things they've done for our people or for the people in general, you still respect them, even though that their actions in their life led them to do, to portray themselves in a different light, but their achievements, you still respect it. You still respect them as that type of person. But for the infidelity, you don't like what they did or you think it's morally wrong, but the respect level is still there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you, I guess it depends on your level of forgiveness too, when it comes to that, because some people are more willing to forgive and to move on when somebody does something like that than others. If you're willing to forgive that person for their infidelity, then yeah, maybe you could still have your level of respect for them. But then you may think about, well, they didn't respect me when they did it. They may look at it, you may look at it that way and be like, so I guess it just depends on your level of forgiveness, like with the leaders and stuff like that. Do you forgive them for what they did? Even though it's not your place to judge people, but if it's right in your face, if it's in your home, you can't judge somebody that's on the television, but if it's in your home and somebody has done something to you, then it's up to me, it's up to your level of forgiveness. If you want to forgive that person and they earn your respect back, or if you still have a level of respect for them, can your level of respect build up higher in a higher regard or go back to that high regard that it was at before they did whatever they did to make you drop your level of respect for them? I feel like that might come into play.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, guys, it's all about respect. It's all about respect on some form of level, in some shape or form, some respect. Just for us being human beings, we're supposed to love one another. We're supposed to be there for one another, but as I said earlier, the time shift. I mean, it's a big time shift. It's like it's a big gap there somewhere. We missed a piece of the puzzle. We jumped from our generation to this new generation and it totally flip-flopped, and respect is one of the things that actually, took the back seat, and that right there tore down, my opinion, the format of family, because the level of respect has gone.
Yeah. I think our social skills has gone down in the age of all this technology too, where we used to form person on person relationships. Now you can form a relationship with a person online and never really see this person anymore. So therefore you don't know their true character. You just know their online persona. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know if this person is really a good person or not. And so we have so many interactions now online that I think that might be a reason, like you said, with the time shift. I think that's has a part to do with it. Just how people are now forming so many different relationships now online, more so than you had to back in our day when we were growing up. You had to go out and meet people. If you wanted to meet somebody, you had to go out and meet them. It was not likely for you to meet somebody that lived in California and you live in South Carolina. It was not likely to happen. Now you could talk to people that live in London and we're in South Carolina or in Australia, and you don't even know where this person is from unless they tell you. And so now, like you were saying with the time shift, it's so easy to do that. You don't have to see somebody's true character. Everybody can paint this perfect picture of themselves online, and they could be a real jerk, serial killer or whatever. You don't know who they are, and I think that might be, like you said, with the time shift, that could be a major problem because people are not personal like they used to be. It's all about the social media now. It's all about taking the selfie. It's all about painting this perfect world for everybody to see. And then inside you're broken. Inside your house, you're broken. Inside there's might be abuse in all kinds of forms of ways and stuff. But we try to paint this pretty picture online that may not even be true.
That's absolutely
You may not
right.
even respect yourself. Better yet, somebody else.
Absolutely. Social media to me is like the circus. because, really, online it's the greatest show on earth. You can be who you want to be. Yeah. You can be who you want to be, and the personal connection has gone. It's left, like, my wife was saying a few seconds ago that, you can build relationships online. People have had relationships online for years. It's crazy to me, but that's just my opinion. It's crazy to me to meet someone and have a so-called, dedicated relationship online for a year or so. I mean, that's wow. That's crazy to me. The time shift, time change, and they say time is good. I mean, change is good. Excuse me. Change is good. But to me, all change is not good. I mean, to me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean,
well,
really.
Like I said, we're in the information age, the technology age. And so as more people are coming up with creative ideas and more innovative things, it's just one of them things, babe, where we just gonna have to go with the flow. Oh, we're going to be left behind. And, we're going to be like the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like the Jetsons. It's like, it's really going to be like that. I mean, if you take out those two time periods, it's just like how it is now. So guys, we just trying to just tell you, we're just talking about the different levels of respect and how we need to bring the respect level back into our families and back into our relationships. I can't tell you how many times, like I was saying, how I see children, how I even see people that supposed to be in relationships being disrespected by their mate. Just because your mate is not around, that doesn't mean that it's a free for all. That you can just do anything. You still have to honor your mates. You still have to honor your relationships, even when they're not in the room, even when they're not around you. You wouldn't want them to do the things that you would do, if the shoe was on the other foot. So you got to always, treat people the way that you want to be treated. So if you want to be respected, then you need to also give respect. Bottom line.
I agree 100%. Respect, I agree, honey. If you want respect, you got to give respect. And guys, it takes no energy. Trust me. It's easy. Just give someone the benefit of the doubt. Don't, do false judgments. If you do those things, respect is easy. Cause a lot of people try to judge somebody, and that right there can, trigger your form of respect for them. Or, because of, you judging them. It's not your job to judge people. It's not your job to judge. That's why I was saying everybody deserves respect, a form of respect. Maybe different levels, like my wife said earlier, could be different levels, but just a form, a smidgen of respect. You got to do it, guys. You got to give that, that form of respect. That way, you can be treated the way that you want to be treated. Mm-hmm. It's got to have it.
It's putting out that good karma in the world, basically. You putting out good karma. A lot of people think that karma is, when you do something bad, you get stuff back to you, like, will go around, come around. That goes true for good things as well. So when you're putting out good karma, you getting good karma back to you. Just as well, if you put out negative karma, you're going to get negative stuff back to you. So that saying goes for both ends of the spectrum. Not just the bad things can come back to you, but you also want the good things to come back to you too. Like we said in our last show about positive thinking. So putting out that good respect is going to get you good respect back, guys. So you want to attract the things that you want in your life. And if you don't want negativity in your life, then you got to put out that good energy, right?
Exactly.
All right, guys. So we always enjoy these juicy topics. Like we said, we changed the format of the show because we're trying to bring more value. We want to make sure that we are trying our best on Lunch Talk with the Carters to keep our families first. That's our main goal, is to keep our families first here in 2018 and going forward, for the rest of the life that Lunch Talk with the Carters is a show, because that's important to us. The family dynamic has died so much, like we said, because of the culture changes, the culture time has changed, and a lot of those values is leaving. People are not valuing relationships. They're not valuing marriages anymore. They're not valuing family anymore, because it's so easy to form these not true relationships online, that a lot of the family dynamic has changed. So that's why we are tackling these conversations, these hard conversations to talk about. And we got a lot of more coming to you. We're going to be talking about growth. What's something else you said you want to talk about, babe? No, you said you want to talk about growth in relationships.
I want to talk about growth, and then I want to talk about reoccurring situations. That's could be a part of growth too by moving forward. And I also got to, the other one I had was, I forgot it. Just that quick. I forgot.
That's how it is when you're right here in front of the microphone.
I know, I forgot it. I had it, but I forgot it. That's that quick.
But guys, we're trying to bring a lot of value to that. I mean, we're going to talk about some real tough topics. We're going to talk about weight gaining in relationships. We're going to talk about abuse in relationships. We're going to talk about mental health in relationships. I mean, we're going to start tackling some of these really hard conversations, but guess what? We got to have them. We got to have them. I mean, because these things are real. They're going on right now, right this second, to somebody in the world. May not be you, may not even be, somebody that you know, but it's happening. And so therefore we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it because that's what Lunch Talk with the Carters do. So we appreciate you always tuning in to us on Mondays and Fridays at noon. And guess what, guys? You can check us out on the Radio Public app, because when you listen to our show on Radio Public, you are supporting Lunch Talk with the Carters. So make sure that you're checking us out on the Radio Public app. You can download that free app. You can listen to the show for free. It's on Android and on iOS devices, which is the iPhones. And also, guys, you can check us out on Spotify now. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on a whole bunch of others. All you have to do is just Google us up if you don't know how to get to any of those. Lunch Talk with the Carters. And make sure that you are checking out our Lunch Talk with the Carters couples line. You can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/lunchtalkshow/shop. And if you go there, it's easier to get to the shop than me telling you the long web address that it is. So it's just easier to go to Facebook. You don't even have to like the page. If you're one of those people that don't like Facebook, hey guys, you can even go on our Instagram account, really, because we have the links on our Instagram account as well. All right, guys. So we appreciate you listening again, and we hope you have a blessed weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.
All right. Peace.